Oh,
So I need to counsel here tonight. And I can tell you this is definitely not a generational thing because the person who said this to me today is older than I am. Life's been hard on him, so I couldn't really tell you how old he is, but he's had some issues back and forth. But what do you guys think about? And I almost up the story. What the question is, what do you think about? I didn't sign. The quote says, "I didn't sign up for this," as in a professional standard. Yeah, do your thing, Kurt. But as a professional standard, right? When I'm hired to do a job. I didn't sign up for this. And he's not the first person to say it. He's the first person that pushed me way too far, and I fired him for it today. Um, I run an ambulance company. What we do is we move patients. This is oversimplification, but we're non-emergency. We move patients. And if we don't move them, most of the time they will die. Now, no, it's not 911. It is a thing called dialysis, which has to do with your kidneys. And if you do not, at the point that we get the patients, they have to be needing a stretcher. So we get them more towards the end of life. By the time we get the patient, if they don't go, it could take up to 4 weeks. It could be a week. But if they don't go get their treatment, they will die because it's how you cleanse the body, and their kidneys aren't cleansing the body. So that's just to give you some context. We move patients. However, that's not the only way we move patients. We also work with the hospitals and nursing homes and try to move people, and that's called IFT, interfacility transports. Now, Joe, I would hope you'd ask a question everybody else would ask. What's the difference?
what is the difference?
Great question, Joe. There's no difference. You literally, in any call, even in 911, you get the call. Now, 911, you sit around and wait for the tones to drop for somebody to dial, right? But in the non-emergency world, the only difference is we know the call's coming. We got the call ahead of time. So you come in to work, you clock in, you know you're going to be here for so many hours, and you're going to move patients. And you go to where the patient is, you pick them up, you put them on your ambulance, you take them to where they're going, you drop them off. That's 911, that's dialysis, that's IFT, that's everything. You move patients. There's no difference. We don't do 911, so we don't have the gunshots and the craziness and all that stuff. Ours is very scheduled. So if I schedule you at 7 a.m. and you're supposed to be off by 7 p.m., because we average 10 to 12-hour days, that within reason, you'll be off by 7 p.m. or earlier. That's the only convenience we can give you. Everything else is sometimes the patients, true story, sometimes the patients get off 2 hours late because they took themselves off their treatment 3 times to poop. And then you just have to wait for the treatment to start back up and all this other stuff. So it's a human factor. Now, that's it in a nutshell. Now, I didn't sign up for this. So today, we're as a business, we're here to make money, right? We can all agree for-profit businesses are doing what? Have to make a profit, which is we eat what we kill. We don't have any support from the government. We don't have magic money coming in. If we don't move patients, we don't get paid, which means I can't pay you. So we're doing all right, but we're trying to change up some of our business model and get more into the nursing homes and the hospitals to put up our gaps. So dialysis is a long treatment. You take somebody in the morning, they take 3 to 4 hours, then you take them home. So we stack a couple of patients, but no matter how many you stack, there's a window of time where your ambulance is not doing anything. Your people aren't doing anything. And it can be up to 2 to 3 hours. Sometimes they're sitting around at the base or whatever. So we try to slide in a discharge or two, other moving patients, essentially. That can take 30 to 40 minutes at max. You go in, take them home, those kind of things. We don't try to overwork them. We definitely try to say, hey, if we can be profitable with these patients, how much better can we do filling in this 3-hour gap and still giving you some downtime?
Yeah, maximizing your profits.
There you go. And we're profit sharing. So it's not even a greed thing. It's like the more money we get, the better we pay our people, the better equipment we get. We share the wealth all the way around. And some people just don't have that idea. So today we asked this guy, said, hey, can you take this call? And he said, nope, I no. And my manager, like the person underneath me, the regional director, who is 2 levels over him, was the one asking him. And he told her, nope, I'm not going to do it. He's like, or he goes, is it an IFT, which is a transport from a hospital home in this case? And she's like, yeah. He goes, nope, not going to do it. She's like, I'm sorry, what? She goes, yeah, no, I told you I don't like this. I'm not doing it. And she goes, oh, you're serious? She goes, yes. And so they had a little talk, and then she came in and get me. And I came out there and said, hey, man, I need you to take this call. He immediately gets angry, gets mad, all this stuff's going on. I'm going to drag out the whole story because I want to get to the point. He said a couple times, I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for Dallas's. I'm like, no, you signed up to move pace. This is what we do here. I said, did you not get to sit down and rest? Yeah, I got to rest. Did you get to eat your lunch? Yeah, I got to eat your lunch. So what's the problem? I got a job to do. It's like, yeah, your job's to do what I tell you to. I sign your checks. I mean, I hate pulling out that line, but it kind of came down to it. It's like, I'm your supervisor. I literally tell you what to do. So I'm telling you all this. But he kept saying, I didn't sign up for this. I've had a few people actually quit on us or / get fired because that's what they say. I don't understand that mindset. I want to know if you guys have any insights on this. I didn't sign up for this mindset of, did you get whatever training, whatever skills you needed to take this job? And I'm trying to make it general so everybody can relate. So yeah, schooling, tech school, licensure, whatever it is, life taught you how to do your job. So yeah, you put in the experience, the time, and you got the training and knowledge. Did you apply for this job? Yes. Did you agree to accept the paycheck that they give you? Yes. What part are you not signing up for? Do you guys understand that concept at all? When somebody in your work, Kurt, with the tech support, or Joe with you with the GUIs and the coding or whatever you have to do, oh no, I didn't sign up for that. I can't do that.
There's definitely times where you could be asked to do things beyond the scope of your position, but your instance is definitely not one of them.
Right, because it's all licensure. We call it. I know what you're saying. Position being, you're in a department, you might be asked to work in a different department. But Joe, yeah, I'm glad you brought it up. Mine's just not one of those. It'd be like asking you to go back to your old department and help with that. That's within your scope. You know how to do that job. It's not like I'm asking you to go be the accountant and figure out where we're missing $1 million. Right? Because that would not be what you signed up for, right?
Correct.
Can I give an example of something that I'm not saying this happens, Joe, because I don't know. You guys probably don't do box software or anything like that, right?
Yeah, we have some box software that we use.
All right, great.
That we
support
that you
locally.
Sell.
Or develop, rather.
We do to a certain extent, yeah.
All right, let just for the example.
Yeah.
So if your bosses, Joe, said, hey, we have to get this product out by June 1st. and what that means is, because we're going to be cutting it so tight, we're going to need to pull people down to the warehouse to help us pack the product up and load it onto the truck to get it to the distributors. Would you say that is not that's not what I signed up for, or would you help out because that's good for the company?
It depends on the company, but I'm that guy that a lot of times.
No, it completely depends on the company. No question about it. But the reason I ask is because that is outside the scope of your core job.
Right.
But if you have very loyal employees, and I'm not saying you're not loyal, Joe. I'm making up a scenario.
I work from home, so they better not be asking me that.
Okay, no, but that so that is a different decision point, right? If they said, "Hey, we know that you work from home, but we need you to come to the home office to help us ship this stuff out," that's a way different ask,
right,
than if you were sitting in the office and the warehouse is downstairs. So, yeah. But you might say no, and that's okay. But I'm just, and because I've been in that situation, like when my very first QA job, we basically had to help load software into boxes, tape them up, load the truck, because that's what you did. Because if the company makes money and we make Christmas, then we get bonuses, and everybody's happy. So I will say though, on the other side of that, Charles, one of the things that I've seen, and that we deal with in our IT world, is when we're interviewing people. Like I interviewed somebody today.
Okay,
I said, so here's what the expectation of your job is going to be. You're going to be doing inventory control. You're going to be taking inventory and keeping control of the inventory of the hardware equipment and software equipment needed by all of our techs. Now, outside of that, you may be required to go bring hardware to the techs if they're on site at a distant place. You know, if it makes no sense for them to do a giant round trip, because we have techs all over the place. And in the case of like if we're installing a heavy server, you might be asked to help load the server onto the rack because some of the servers are heavy. Now that technically is outside the scope, but we try to come up with ways to communicate with them about what is possible. Now, I don't know your situation, Charles, but for the dude who said, I didn't sign up for that, it sounds like, and again, this might be completely wrong, but it sounds like he was like, yeah, I'm really interested in helping dialysis patients, and that's where my core focus is. And you may have said, just understand that our job is we got to move patients, period. He may not have heard you in the way that you intended. He may not have heard that you said, cool, we'll keep that in mind. However, we're going to need you to do other stuff too.
And that's like me saying, I didn't sign up to be on call. I'm not taking a call at 3 in the morning because our servers are down. No. Yeah, no, that's
right.
What I got to do.
Was that not part of your job description though? Take on call?
My company is horrible when it comes to job descriptions.
Okay, so
there's a whole lot that I do that's outside of what was actually written on the job description.
Gotcha. So keep in mind like this though. So here's what actually happened today. So they had at least 3 hours before they had to go get their last patient. They'd already been done with their patient before that for about 30-40 minutes. They had time to go through a drive-through or go in. I didn't ask, but they had fast food that they were finishing up eating. So they had time to go get it after dropping off their patient, get back here, chill out, eat their entire lunch, and just sit in the recliners. 3 hours. And we're asking them just to drive up to the hospital, grab a patient, take them home. And he kept telling me, I got a job to do. I got a patient to get. It's like, no, I have a patient to get. That's my, I didn't say this to him. I was like, no, everything's mine. Nothing is yours. Secondly, so you're arguing with me that you have a job. You have such a dedication to getting that one patient, which they were still going to get because they had plenty of time to go get it, take that patient home, come back and still chill out before the patient was ready. You're still going to get that patient. So you're really arguing just to sit here. But here's how he started the conversation, really just fired it off quick. So it's like, hey, man, I need you to run this call. He snatched his bag up. I'm not running it. I'm not running the IFT. I mean, he went hot. He went to 10 immediately. Because I'm not, you can't make me. And my brain was just on fire. It was working. So I'm like, no, you're right. I can't make you run the call. I can't send you home. So I need to talk to you about this call. And all I heard was I'm going to send him home. And he kept trying to walk. I mean, it's like he planned it and practiced it. But he kept trying to nail me on. You said this. I was like, you're being insubordinate right now. If you clock out and go home without stopping and talking to me, I'm being very clear. You need to stop running around this bay and talk to me like a human being, or do not come back. You will be terminated. Well, then it was, you've already terminated me. You've read this. We got on the phone with HR. We did all this stuff, but it was really that thought process. I didn't sign up for this. Here's how I equate it. We've all worked some equivalent of a fast food job, right? In our come up in our jobs. So you go, for me, it was Taco Bell. I go, or Chick-fil-A even. I worked at Chick-fil-A. So I go, okay, I want to work at Chick-fil-A. They hired me to work at Chick-fil-A. That's the job. You work there. Sometimes you work the registers. Sometimes I was cooking. So, whatever. And, that's every fast food job. So I'm working at Chick-fil-A or McDonald's or Taco Bell, wherever fits your mold there. And they go, hey, all right, cool. It's time to close the store. I need you to go mop the bathrooms. Oh, I didn't sign up for that. I only signed up to work a register. That's kind of the equivalent of what he was saying.
Yeah.
And that's what they said. I didn't sign up for. And truly, the two people in the last 3 months that have had this issue were, both left horribly. Well, I don't understand. This is you guys do tech. You can't just I only want to do this one line of code. You know that when you go take that various tech job that you're both working in similar kind of fields there, you're going to, even if you don't go pack boxes, you're going to write more than just this one type of code or however it equates to what you're doing. Go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that and again, I don't know how you interview people, and and I don't know how you've talked to people. But one of the things you might want to consider is when you're interviewing people, saying, "Hey, we this is going to be your core job, but just understand that at any given moment, you may be asked to do other things, and just keep it as open as that." And as long as they acknowledge that, then I didn't sign up for this better be followed by I quit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because literally in your situation, like today, if that dude said, "I'm not doing that," and then my response literally would have been, "Then I guess you're not working the rest of the day. Have a nice time home."
That was where we were going, and he just kept put. I mean, I'd said that, but essentially, I need you to, and he just kept pushing. I was like, I did bring it down. I was like, dude, I don't understand. What are you so angry about? He wouldn't even look me in the eye. He's just, I was like, what are you so angry about? What? Let's talk. And he just, I don't know, but I came down clear. It's like, I kept focusing on trying to focus on everything. Well, you did this and you did this over, and you sent these people home. Yeah. But that's not about this right now. Right now, I'm telling you calmly and clearly, if you refuse this call, you're being insubordinate and you will be terminated. Do you want that? Because I don't want that. I want you to keep your job. Are you going to take this call? And every time I said that, I said at least 3 times. And we did it once on the phone with HR. Every time he said, no, I'm not taking the call. It was just that day. But yeah, I can get that. The clarity of things. I tell people now when we interview him, I don't know about his situation, but honestly, it doesn't matter. If McDonald's decides they're going to sell hot dogs, you can't say, "Oh, I didn't sign up for this. I'm not cooking hot dogs." Well, okay. No. At the end of the day, I guess what you're saying too, Kurt, at the end of the day, and this is what a fire chief told me, and it just kind of locked in. When you work for somebody else, no matter how you feel, at the end of the day, it comes down to when they tell you to do something, you got 2 choices. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Or it's been great working here. I quit. But you were just saying it.
Yeah, that. I mean, there is something to be said about expectations, though, right? I mean, for
even if expectations aren't real, you should quit, right?
Yeah, but if they're not communicated, if the possibilities aren't communicated, like I'll give you for instance, we on occasion run cabling if our cabling guy isn't around, right? And so I have a guy that says I can't go up ladders. I just can't because like over 3 feet off the ground, I get vertigo and I will fall. If I were to say, yeah, sorry about that, but we need you to do this.
Right.
That's not fair.
Now you're actually pushing.
But no, but yeah. yes, because that's a more clear-cut case. But it's fair. Right. And so, but if we said to him during his interview process, oh, by the way, you may need to climb as much as an 8-foot ladder in order to be able to do this job on occasion.
Right.
Then he could say, oh, I can't. So then it's on us to either make accommodations or say, you're not the right
on your state, the situation. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and you're real. I mean, that's getting into real. I shook my head. Yes, Joe. When you typed, did you download the speak pipes? This is a big yes. I can read and talk at the same time. I got him. You said let the old people talk. All right. Yes, Kurt. It's man, we could really, that might be a good talk for another night of getting down into the disclosures versus asking versus clarities. But yeah, if there was a legit reason that somebody could, and I've had that. I've gone to a cruise like, look, y'all are sitting here. I need y'all to go run this call. And they're like, okay, but our patient's supposed to be ready at this time. And legitimately, it's going to take like 45 minutes to get up there. Plus, we'll probably be late. And I know what they're really doing is trying to get out of the call, but it's also legit. It's like, I look them, then I was like, I know what you're doing. I don't like that you're doing it that way. So I need you to be better team players and think about it, but I'll find somebody else to do it. But come on. So it is what it is. All right. Good advice all around.